Do you guys want to get involved in having fun and potentially changing someone's life? Then tune in to the 24-hour gaming live stream on the 11th of July at 12 noon BST, that's 4 AM PST, and get involved. We're going to be playing CSGO, GTA 5 and other games, so please set a date in your calendars and load up your Steam accounts. Twitch name is on your screen now. Enjoy the video. Alright, so it's coming up to the summer and you want a water resistant smartphone with a gorgeous screen and a very capable camera, but you don't want to spend more than £150. Well, you're in luck, because such a phone exists. Hi guys, my name is Ryan Thomas with Failtech, and this is my take on owning a Samsung Galaxy S5 in 2017. So let's get started with the issues. The S5 will come with knocks, and so it's up to your brave soul to get past it if you want to install a custom ROM, which if given the choice, you would almost definitely do. Also, if you do want the water resistant feature, make sure you buy a device with the plastic flaps still intact and working, as mine didn't come with such a luxury, buying it used off eBay. Link to buy this phone on Amazon will be in the video description, by the way, just in case you want to buy it brand new. This phone came out in April of 2014, making it 3 years old, which will surprise you given the amount of crazy technical specifications and also feature set. You can pick one of these bad boys up for between £100 and £200, though I'd stick with the rather conservative 150 or lower unless you want to step up to the S6, which you can get for around 200 if you really dig deep. If you've seen one Samsung Galaxy, then you've pretty much seen them all, apart from the S8. And this thing looks just like the S flagship before it, and the one before that. It's got standard physical home button that now doubles as a fingerprint scanner, flanked by 2 capacitive touch buttons, menu and back. On the reverse of the device, we find a top central camera that's been resided in the same place since the early models, and we do get a heart rate monitor and a flash just below. As for the build, well, it's tacky to say the least. A lot of plastic and it feels pretty light. Its back does come off though, and so you can replace and upgrade the battery, which is as always a welcomed feature in return for the shoddier than I'd like build quality. The flaps cover up the ports, or in my case, the little tether thing just becomes an annoyance, and so you don't get the water resistance, but if you do have those flaps, the water resistance feature is nice. The great thing about this kind of design is that if you do get a back scratched up, you can replace it very easily by finding one on eBay because they're replaceable. And to be honest, you probably won't mind if you do get a scratched up back on this phone because it's made of plastic and not crazy awesome materials like the S6, the S7 and the S8's glass materials. The screen on this device is absolutely incredible. It's a 5.1 inch 1080p Super AMOLED display that achieves crazy levels of brightness and is super sharp. I love the incredible, admittedly oversaturated colours and the great punch that this panel delivers, and I would recommend this phone purely for its screen if there weren't the other great features too, which thankfully there are. The panel is plenty sharp for reading small text, watching videos, playing games, browsing social media, and even works great as a viewfinder for the camera. I really enjoyed using this phone when I did, purely for the display. And at this price is unbeatable in terms of punchiness and clarity, though if you really wanted to, you can pick up the G3 if you wanted stunning sharpness too at QHD. The camera is another really strong part of this phone, featuring a 16 megapixel sensor with f2.2 glass and the ability to shoot UHD video at 30 FPS, which is solid. I like the photos that come out of this. I think they're a little bit too sharpened and saturated for my liking, but arguably that just makes the photos pop, and lots of people like poppy photos on social media. The camera doesn't feature optical image stabilization, unfortunately, and couple that with loads of small pixels crammed into a small sensor and a relatively slow glass means that low light performance isn't amazing. But if you're out with the family in the summer and you've got a nice well lit scene, then you'll get great photos from this device with a lot of zoom ability at 16 megapixels. And you can store them on the up to 256GB microSD expansion, which is super handy too. As for the secondary camera, well, you're going to get a super wide 2 megapixel cam with f2.4 glass. The specs on paper don't seem amazing, but you really do get that awesome wide angle lens with these Samsung devices, and this is no exception. So to get everyone in the family in this shot comfortably with a selfie, go Samsung. Or failing that, go GoPro, but I mean the screen isn't quite as good on the GoPro. As for the performance specs, you're getting a decent system on a chip with the Snapdragon 801 clocked at 2.5 GHz and 2GB of RAM with either 16 or 32 gigs of storage. I personally love the fact that you can expand the storage with microSD, but it also would have been awesome if you could get a 64GB base option. I have to say that when I used this device on stock software, it was getting pretty poor performance to say the least. But apparently things are very different now with updates and upgrades, and if you're lucky and skilled enough to install Lineage on it, it becomes a whole new beast. It seemed to run games and most apps fine, but Snapchat crashed a butt ton for me and it lagged a lot just running around the UI. But then again, other users have reported fine. For software, we have Android 6.0 if you're lucky enough to get the OTA update, and if you're skilled enough to beat Knox, you can get Android Nougat, which is super awesome with all those new features. Although the stock software does come with its quirks like the useful tools and heart rate sensor, and I'm really a fan of S-Health. I think it's the best fitness tracker built into a phone. The battery on this device I found was pretty dreadful. It's a 2800 mAh cell, but the good thing is you can replace it and upgrade it if you want, because you have that removable back and you have that ability to change it. I got around 2 to 3 hours of screen on time, but a lot of people found more. Maybe I was just using the phone too much. The speaker on this device is one of the least desirable features, unfortunately, as it's a rear-placed, rather tinny unit that outputs a decently low volume and quality of sound. But you do have a headphone jack and Bluetooth 4.0, so please do connect some decent headphones. The main port, which is a really odd one, is USB 3.0 Type B, which is a really big and bulky connector that offers quicker speeds at an inconvenience of an uncommon and fiddly plug. But you do get a headphone jack and wireless charging though. Fast and accurate. Neither of these describe the fingerprint scanner that requires a swipe on this device, but you do at least get one. It's really useful to have along with the other features, it's just not amazing. The huge feature set is one of the big reasons to buy this phone, along with its phenomenal screen and camera. In conclusion, do I think this phone is still a viable phone? Yes and no. In my personal experience, the software wasn't up to par for everyday use, but the hardware was exceptional, and for this price it's amazing. So thanks for watching guys. Please do leave a like if you liked, dislike if you disliked, and a comment on your thoughts. Please do subscribe if you're new to never miss a video like this one, and do check out our live stream soon. My name's been Ryan Thomas, you guys have been awesome, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.